Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu 5 and I got a special treat for you. This is a show and tell. And keep in mind, first off, forgive me if I cough while making this video. I don't have the Rona, I have allergy problems and it's irritated my lungs. And I get this almost every year except for last year when I didn't go to work during the spring break. So it's terrible. I hate it because it makes me feel uncomfortable around people and what they might think of me, because when I talk I tend to cough, and I'm getting a lot better now, so I'm thankful for that. But just keep in mind, if I cough in the middle of this video, I am mostly well. It's just irritated lungs. But anyways, not a few days, yesterday my brother was like, hey, I got to show you this knife. For those of you who don't know, my brother has a reputation of being a good knife sharpener, and friends, family, they often use him to sharpen their knives. In this case, a very expensive knife, and so my brother hasn't worked too much on this one yet. He worked on that one, but anyways, he doesn't do it for money. Because he doesn't have a reliable schedule where he can dedicate that time to sharpening knives and shipping them out in a good turnaround time. So he just does it for some close friends, family, and so on and so forth. But we have a church member who gave my brother, not to keep, a Randall Model 19 Bushmaster, and this other knife that seems to be well made, but we don't know what it is. And it's funny, my brother was like, hey, I gotta show you this Randall. You know, we don't get to see Randalls very often. Me and my brother both love the look and craftsmanship of Randalls, but I had a negative experience with Randall when I bought mine. And basically what it boiled down to is I didn't know exactly what I was paying for. Randalls have a very good name and reputation, and they cost an insane amount of money. And if you're expecting a lightsaber, then I would say you're going to be disappointed. But if you just look at it for what it is, a low production, hand-forged knife, you'll probably have a better experience than me. But when you get a Randall knife with stag handles, you kind of know where the extra money goes to. And anyways, my brother got out of his car and handed me the knife, and I said, I know what knife this is. I've been looking at this knife when I was shopping for Randall's. It's the Bushmaster. And I got the 75th anniversary catalog still in my collection. Still occasionally like to thumb through it. And in fact, this knife right here kind of looks like that one, but it's not a Randall. But here's the Bushmaster. And I love the look of this knife. Those things about it that I don't quite understand, but I love it. And there's the Bushmaster, 4.5, and it's 4.5 and a 5-inch blade, 1/4 stock. Let's see if it says what steel this is. If it's stainless steel, which I think it is, I saw on a website that it was stainless steel, it's going to be 440B. If it's carbon steel, then it's going to be 01. But it doesn't really say right here. At least I can't see it through the viewfinder. But I think it's 440B. Anyways, this one has leather stacked handles. I like the stag. The leather is good. I've seen a sandbar stag. I've seen a combat version of this knife that has a double guard on it, and not in person, just on the internet, and it's pretty cool. Now, what makes this Randall pretty interesting is that this is advertised as a camp big game hunting knife, and I like the guard, how it has the choil and everything. But something that you don't see on the paper, that you can read about, but you don't see on the paper, let's see if I can get this to focus in, is that it has a false edge. This has a legitimate, I don't know if I have paper near me, false edge. So I have no clue why on a hunting knife you would want a false edge. That's going to limit your batoning capabilities. But if you're using this as a self-defense knife against animals or people, you're going to want that false edge. That helps a lot in tissue destruction, so to speak. Yeah, this is a hunting knife with a false edge on it. And my brother kind of made a comparison between this and the John Vincent tank. And the John Vincent tank is 5.5 inches, I think, which is a good size in my opinion for what it is. But it kind of has that beefy, built like a tank quality about it. Except this is exceedingly more beautiful than a John Vincent tank. I would love to have a John Vincent tank, but this to me has a lot more elegance beside it. By the way, if I got a John Vincent tank, it would be with the Bagwell handle, not anything too tactical or anything, something a little bit more classical. But this knife feels good in the hand, and something that I have to hand it to with Randall is that they give the stag a good bit of thought behind it when they put it on a knife. Silver stag, trash. Silver stag will just put any piece of stag on any tang and call it a knife. They won't shape it if it needs to be shaped. They won't fit it if it needs to be fitted. My experience with silver stag is they put a stag handle on it, and good luck if it's ergonomic or not. They'll keep it. They'll make it where it's like that much longer and it's like that big around. And so I've only handled 2 silver stag knives, and both of them were not cool. But this one, not only is it beautiful, you have this coloration in it and stuff. It seems to be polished right here where your thumb's going to be at when you're skinning, on both sides in fact. And then you got the more rougher area towards the end with the color in it. But it's proportional to your hand. It's proportional to the knife. And it's just really well done, and I love it. And I told my brother if I still had my William Henry knife, I would offer to trade it for this knife. Because in all honesty, when I was looking at Randall made knives, there were 3 knives I was looking at. I was looking at the Model 1 1601, I think, which is what I got. It's the Border Patrol handle dive knife version of the number 1. The number 2, or this knife. Those were the ones I was looking at. I mean, I like the Arkansas toothpick, but in all reality, I probably wouldn't get one. But it was this knife, the number 1, but in the dive variation, and the number 2 stiletto. And I ended up getting the number 1. I didn't quite like it as much as I thought I would, but I really like this one. If you get the Sambro Stag version of this knife, it's going to be around $800, $850, I think. It's going to be around $900. We're going to say $900. I looked this up last night, and I don't have that recorded. It's just I was trying to find out how much this knife cost. The stacked leather handle is going to be $400 to $500, and I think this is in the $600 range. Unfortunately, we don't have sheaths to these knives, so once they do get sharpened up real nice like, which I have it on leather, that's kind of scary. I don't know the best way to transport them. You might have to make some cardboard sheaths for them. But here, just to look at this knife, this is a classical looking hunting knife. I mean, I just showed you a variant of it in the Randall catalog. Let's see if I can get this logo focused in on. Can you tell what logo that is? This is no longer a show off. This is a question. Can anybody tell me what this logo is? Kind of looks like Gunsight, but I know this isn't a Gunsight knife. But this one has some qualities about it that make it seem like it's a well-made knife. An old school knife, and I guess that'd be a more proper way to put it. It could be cheap, it could be expensive, we have no clue, but it seems like it has some quality to it. It is rather fat. The stock is rather fat, as you can see right here. Even in the swedged area is kind of fat. focus. And the owner of this knife ran it through a cheap kitchen knife sharpener, and that's basically what my brother was doing, was prettying this up and putting a nicer looking edge on it. And this one is already beautiful, but he's going to work on the edges and just refine them. And I just wanted to take this time to show these knives to you while they're in my brother's possession. Because some of you might not have a lot of experience with Randall made knives and looking at the type of knives that they make. They make a lot of hunting knives, and they make some fighting knives. There's the number 2 that I wanted. There's the number 16-7. That's special 1 fighter. So it's a Model 1 but it's the 16 model that's in the number 1 configuration, 7-inch blade. And I got the one with the Border Patrol handle for scuba diving, and I just came to the conclusion that it wasn't the lightsaber that I thought it was going to be. There's the number 1 right there. That's the more traditional version that you see in World War II and Vietnam, or pretty much any battlefield after its conception. And just to let you know that the number 2 was inspired by the Fairbairn Sykes dagger. And what you need to know about the Fairbairn Sykes dagger is its legacy was people trying to improve upon it, because it wasn't as good as it needed to be. But Randall has their version of the hollow handle knife. I would never buy it, but I'm sure it's better than what you find at flea markets. And there's the 16 diver that's not in the configuration that I got it. I hate finger grooves. But Randall has some really nice looking hunting knives, as you can see right there. That looks similar. But they got some awesome hunting knives and fishing knives. They even got kitchen cutlery. But I knew exactly when my brother handed it to me what model it was, because that was one of the 3 that I was looking for. They also got buoys. And let's see, the where is it? There it is. The Smithsonian buoy right there is a direct replica of the Iron Maiden buoy, which is where they call it the Smithsonian buoy, because it's shown or it's displayed in the Smithsonian. But this was a copy from a movie prop buoy knife. And there's the Arkansas toothpick that I like. So that's it. That's the video. Nothing real crazy. Nothing real... Well, I guess it is crazy. I never thought I'd be holding another Randall anytime soon. And it's really making me want to buy another one when I get the money. I'm spending a good bit on my vehicle these days. But I wanted to show you this knife just because, you know, on the grand scheme of things, you don't see these on review tables. You do see people who are either in the military or they're hardcore collectors putting videos on YouTube, but there's not a lot of them. So I wanted to just kind of give some exposure to this knife. I think it's beautiful and well made. And again, I have no clue what the false edge is for a hunting knife. I guess if you want to use one edge up as your primary edge, and if you needed a backup edge to cut something, I guess you can hold it like this. But you do have an actual false edge, not a swedge. But you can also use it for defense, I guess, with any good knife. I'd much rather have this knife on my hip than a Benchmade bug out if I'm being attacked by a puma or cougar or mountain lion, whatever you want to call it, from whatever region you're from. They're all the same animal. But yeah, if I was going to be attacked by a puma, I'd much rather have this than the Benchmade bug out. It might not be as comfortable to run in or run with, but it'll definitely be a lot more capable. So that's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.